I wonder what they're like.
From our viewpoint, Professor, they're either suprahuman or subhuman.
Hello out there in the Twitchiverse. It is time once again for some IllumiNation, the supraliminal films related content producing Lorcana machine. Yeah,
we produce content sometimes.
Yeah, we do content for Lorcana. We do content for all kinds of stuff here on Superliminal Films. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We have Cliff here in the studio. I'm going to call it the studio. It sounds fancy.
Okay.
There's acoustic phone back there. It looks like it could be a studio.
It could be.
And we have Sam here, who's definitely not playing on her phone on camera. I know. I got it. It's good. And I am on audio. I'm here. Hello. I'm just not on the camera for you. I'm going to actually switch this over and take off the onboard cam view here. So now you're looking down at the game in earnest. We will, of course, do what we do here every single time we stream. We're going to take a look at Sam and Cliff's hands as they decide what to alter and what to keep, and we will track it that way. I don't know if we determined who's going first, but we can do that.
I need all the luck I can get.
We got a 9 there. Sam's got also a 9, making a game of it. 7 here. And a 7 there. All right, this is going to be more exciting than the game.
Ooh, 10. Heck.
Oh, wow. Man, Sam sucks.
Good for me.
All right. So we will get Sam's 7, and then we will cut to her taking a peek and see what she has.
She better mulligan like I don't know what I'm playing.
That's right. Slide over a little bit. There it is. There it is. So Sam has no 1-drops. She's going to mulligan a little bit heavier than she normally would. I don't know how well you can hear her. We are now on fixed headsets to solve our audio issues. So hope everything sounds good. If it doesn't sound good, please let me know in the chat. She is going to alter 6 of her cards. Okay, we'll go to Cliff next.
Okay, so I was handed this deck when I got here and just told this is what I was playing. So it looks like I'm playing a blue-red list. I believe it's the new DKP list.
It is.
So I don't have much practice with this specific blue-red list, but I predominantly played blue-red. I see I got a bunch of 4s and 5s that I'm going to throw away because Hiram doesn't exist anymore and none of these are him. But I'm going to keep the ramp and the vision to try and find something to help me get through the mid-game.
Makes a lot of sense.
So
it feels like this build's going to be a lot more reactive.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. It's almost like Lorcana's version of a burn deck is what kind of DKP is cooked up for this set now, where it's just a lot of looking for the specific cards you need in a situation, just because Sapphire doesn't do raw card draw.
Right.
Does a lot of card filtering. So that makes a lot of sense. He has not gotten new cards.
I did. I haven't.
Okay.
I'll look at them in a second.
Okay. I was gonna say Cliff always slow rolls his alters.
I do it to myself,
yeah.
So that way I'm not disappointed until my turn starts.
That's right.
It definitely got better.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think Sam's is about meh. So Sam is on the list that she had piloted herself to second place at Encounter Games with. So this is a Amethyst Steel deck, and Cliff is going to try to navigate the new to a lot of us DKP list. So we can get his initial thoughts and reactions. We got him on audio with me so that he can kind of give his side of the tale. And Cliff, if you feel so inclined to talk about things in your hand, you're number 2.
So I'm instantly excited that she didn't have a 1-drop.
Yeah, that's a huge win right there.
That she's on purple steel, which is big help. And off the mulligan, I did get the best card in the deck still, which is a turn 1 Popsicle. And I'd Inca Let It Go because it's too slow for the matchup in the most part.
Right.
And that is that. I still have Strength of the Raging Fire. I made assumptions.
Yeah, it's some kind of steel deck, right? Either way, you're going to Popsicle. You're not going to not
play
insulate
Popsicle on
that.
turn 1.
Yep.
Oh, that card.
The jig is up. Helga Sinclair is here.
So I don't like Tipo in the steel matchups because of Calhoun and Helga. It doesn't do anything.
Right.
So I like the sail ramp in this line.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
I was actually talking about, like, before this even, like, potentially cutting Tipos from things with the Hiram ban being instituted.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ink a McDuck Manor and wish I'd had another Popsicle. See.
Just every once in a while tap on it. There you go. You must entice the phone to keep it alive. Sam inking another strength, playing a Pete, questing. Yeah, shutting off the ramp deck on turn 4 is a reasonable line. Fair enough.
All right. Well, I think I have enough cards in my hand for right now that I can ink this vision and just run out Granny. And I'll take this one. And go ahead. I think Helga's going to end up being a problem for this. The kind of deck just with, like, the 4-butt is so big.
The 4-butt's big, and it can punch a shark if she crabs.
Right.
Which is nasty. You can't just get, like, your free sings and your free quests in and just hold them at bay as easily with that Helga keeping everything honest. Inks a White Rose. Goes for the goat. Quests for 1. Doesn't bother to quest with Helga. Doesn't want to get her punched by a Maui, most likely, is my guess.
So I don't want to really ink any of the cards in my hand because they're all going to be important. So I'm going to start with the Halfar and hope I find 2 kind of useless cards.
Makes a lot of sense. If you can draw first, draw first.
I'm going to ink this one because this card's too important for later in the game. So I will ink a Pirate's Life. And I'll run out Dwayne, Maui, and have him punch Peter. And I will actually heal the Maui, so that way Helga can't one-shot Maui. And if she wants to trade Goat, I am 100% A-okay.
Yes, I think that's fair.
Yep.
Yeah, it gives a lot of flexibility. She could hit Grammatala here, challenging Grandma and taking her out. And that would leave Helga back. She could then ship the goat into the Maui. There's a lot of options here. Starts the library is a good place to start when you're going to trade off units. So she gains a lure and draws a card. Feels like Helga's going to want to go after Grammatala here just to make sure the library stays nice and functional.
Yep.
Don't forget to exert your ink there. Pretty efficient turn there. Library move, clear the board on the Ruby Sapphire side. Doesn't advance your lore total a ton, but over the course of the game, that library can do some work.
Run out of Shark.
Shark is now here.
I'm going to Inca Develop and play a Popsicle and hope that I find the 6-drop Kamatoa because that's really my draw engine. Go ahead.
Very straightforward turn here. Some high incentive to want to start popping out libraries. Classic dock as a 1-3. Play a dock, move a dock, no ink, no quest. Just leaving the library to be the library. Makes sense.
Gonna vision a gain 1.
Putting down some business.
Take this, because I like this card a lot.
It's fair. It's a good reason to play. I mean, it's a deck, hopefully, with cards in it that you enjoy.
I'll play another Man Maui and take down the library.
Library is destroyed.
And go ahead. I've activated your trap card.
So activated the Merlin Crab Trap card. Trades off for the Maui Shark, so that's one crisis averted. But now we have to figure out, how do we win the game from here? In for a penny, in for a pound at this point. That board nice and seesawable. Only thing eligible to quest here is just one dock, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair. You got to get the lore before, like, if Sisu's coming down and you miss that lore, that could be a game-losing quest. That because it's going to be that tight, right? Like, it's going to be tight. I mean, obviously, Pirate Slaves are going to be a factor here as we navigate our way through the mid-game into the late game.
How far I'll go? Going to ink a Tipo and be broke.
Okay, going for the classic Be Prepared.
Blowing the board up.
I think it's a good idea just because the more Be Prepared you use when you're not peated, that lets you save Sisus for when you are.
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe I put one on the bottom with a vision.
Who knows?
Neither
Could
of us
be
know.
anything. Can't read that name. Is that Mediocre Matt? Oh, there it is. It popped up on the side.
You're all
Goodness
done.
gracious. Mediocre Matt coming in with the Tier 1 sub 57 months.
Granny.
Goodness gracious, Mediocre Matt. How are you today? Thanks for popping in the stream, as always. I was trying to read the little stupid thing that comes up. I don't know why it's not what I programmed it to be, Streamlabs. I got to look into that.
Go.
I need time. Like all of us, need time.
I will say as a point that I noticed
Hey, that's great news.
that a bunch of people didn't do, and with the at the event, if you had a dock that didn't move to the library, always move your stuff, even if it doesn't do anything.
Yep.
Just get in the habit. Have
Yeah.
everything live.
That's one thing DKP does a lot in that deck is put things in the manner. Just that's his shtick. And it's funny that people call it a shtick where it's like, but that's a habit that's a game action that can benefit you in the future. Like
Right.
the library is a great example of a location you definitely want to use available link for.
We'll gain 2.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. I'd love to see, love to go snoop and see where you're at these days. Cliff's got another McDuck mana. It's going to be really hard. So Sam's probably to the point, you can disagree with me if you want, Sam, that you're probably ignoring all manners and just trying to close this game out as fast as you can, which, given the resources you currently have available, feels very difficult. She says she thinks she loses. I don't know how well you can hear Sam spill over from my microphone, but she says she thinks she loses.
Go ahead.
Draw for the turn. I mean, you have some time in you. One dock off the top can spin some things back in your favor, hopefully. But the lure is very quickly increasing over on the DKP side. And you had to play against DKP yesterday, right? Or were you? You were on DKP / and you also played against blue-red items.
There you go.
What she wants to avoid is Maui getting back, I imagine, a Pirate's Life, because the first Pirate's Life is going to be the final nail in the coffin. Usually it's something like the second or third is what gets you back from the brink, but I think it's going to take as trivial as one this time to really kind of put an end to this game.
Sing Pirate's Life.
That's going to be very hard to come back from. Yeah, that'll be the end. It'll take just one more passing of the turn. Sam's so low, setting all the way back to single digits. There's no coming back. I think that was if this was a tournament setting, yeah, definitely. I think the DKP player would be thrilled.
Yeah.
Because stealing a game on the draw with that deck feels like you're getting away with something a little bit.
It doesn't feel that much different than his former list.
Good.
With 3 Hirams gone.
Yep.
What else would...
He dropped the Tamatoa. It's down to 2, not 3.
2 6-drops.
Yeah.
Okay.
Up the big Sisus. Up the All Is Found.
Right. Well, I just added.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like, the one thing I do like about that list is how smoothly it can operate.
Yeah.
Not as overtly powerful and not as card advantagey, but now in a post-Hiram world, I think smooth play is about the best we can hope for.
Yeah, like when we played this at Safari, because we were both on DKP at Safari,
We were.
Like, there were times where like the deck feels incredibly powerful, then other times you're just like, I wish I could do anything at all.
Anything that matters. There are some times where Pirate's Life feels game-ending, and there are times where it feels like that is the worst card ever printed.
Yes.
So once again, Sam's on the play, so she's going to have to, in this set, try to come back and take one on the draw if she can take it to 3 here. So her opening hand, which she definitely will cut to her angle to show everybody at home. That's Cliff. There's Sam's hand. Sam is not terribly pleased with her hand.
She didn't specify, so it could be in general.
She is going to alter 4 cards, and then she is going to take a new cluster of cards.
Okay. So my hand is a bunch of cards that don't do anything in the beginning of the game. So
it could definitely deal with being zoomed in. I can get it.
Definitely think I'm considering mulliganing all 7, but not knowing how many uninkables are in the deck, I'm tempted to keep one of these. 12 uninkables. Okay, so I'm tempted to keep one, because my hand, predominantly you don't want 3 Visions of the Future in your opening hand, because they don't do anything except for filter, so you want them later in the game, and then everything else is too expensive. So we're going to keep one, and hope that the next 6 are way better. And it improved a lot, so we're really happy that we threw 6 cards away.
I am back. The camera has been fixed. So we're all good to go back to the overhead and get this game underway in earnest. We'll see if Sam can fire back after that pretty rough hand, game 1. Starts off with the Diablo.
All right, so I'm going to start off by inking a toddler and playing a popsicle. Go ahead.
Sam draws for the turn. Inks a white rose. Plays out a Mr. Smee and gets on the board way faster than she did last game.
I will ink another Tifo. I'll play a sail. Draw a card. Whoa. Ink a sail. And play develop.
I'm trying to look through a lot of cards here.
Go ahead.
Your Diablo is not readied. There it goes. Sam contemplating her ink for this turn. Gonna ink a giant cobra. Play Chernobog's Followers. Spending 2 more for a follow-up in the way of Calhoun. Questing all the way up to 4. Ships it back over to Cliff.
I'm going to ink a manor because I don't have time for that right now. Play Grandma.
Continuing to hunt for the right cards to navigate the context of the game. Keep them boards looking healthy.
Go ahead. This is the kind of draw that is really hard for red-blue, especially without the Sapphire Coil.
Right.
Because it lives through Big Sisu as like the main removal. Brawl's even like less favorable than it used to be.
There are no brawls in this list.
Yeah, which is fine because I don't think the card's as good as it was.
No.
Unless you're running Coil.
Right. I think DKP described it as just too much tempo damage, and he'd rather be ramping to play a board wipe versus spending an entire turn to deal with 1 card.
That makes perfect sense.
All right. All the way back up to 9. Very, very quickly. So Cliff has some work cut out for him. J-Rod coming in with a 64 months. Appreciate you, buddy. That is a Nintendo amount of time.
Grandma. I will play a Super Goofy.
The Goof.
Right, so I'm going to have Grandma take out Calhoun. And I'll have Goofy take out Smee. And
Cliff gets 2 lore.
Vision. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to heal it to force Helga to be the thing to punch it, unless there's a grab or something involved. Go ahead. I think her last card is Pete.
Last card's always Pete or Doc. Curious to see what'll happen with this Chernobog's Father. Seems like it's good to just stick to the board for this turn. Sam agrees, keeping the most amount of characters on board to continue to apply the most pressure and force the response from Cliff. It's going to be a tricky turn to navigate.
Inca Manor. Play Tamatoa.
6-drop Tamatoa coming down.
Regrow the Bulbsicle. Play the Bulbsicle. Go ahead.
Kind of exactly the turn Sam wanted Cliff to take, I think. Just buying some more time. And hopefully allowing her to set up. Inking a crab for the turn. Doc, always the last card. Feels like not much going to be happening in terms of further board progression. Sam converting units into cards, which makes a lot of sense here. She's prepared, instead of playing Pete to delay something like a Be Prepared, she is just preparing for it by converting as much on the board back to units in hand to redeploy post Be Prepared.
Quest for 2.
Get a free Popsicle. That's a free card.
It is. A mountain. obstacle. And I'll be prepared. Yep. I'm pretty sure I've lost.
There's a lot to come back from.
Go ahead.
Sam's hand now just full. 6 cards deep with all the card draw. Cards like Diablo just make removal so much more diminishing returns because it can just refill the hand, and now she's just back to deploying cards. Only one character can be CC'd. Cliff may just have to do that just to prevent Sam from getting up to 19 and just being able to go. We'll see. Could be something like a Let It Go.
How far I'll go.
Find out how far Cliff will go. Will it be quite or not very?
I end up in these situations where it's 2 cards that I want, and I'm always annoyed that they're together.
Yeah, that is annoying. You usually want one card so that you can easily ink the other and go, woohoo, that's out of my way.
I will let it go,
Calhoun sent into the inkwell.
Go ahead.
Let's Cliff continue to add resources into the inkwell and let him continue either playing big cards or casting multiple cards on his turn. But it's going to be a tough road to hoe. There's a lot of stuff Sam can do here. 4 cards in hand.
I need the deck that somehow never stops to stop.
Yes. Sisu can take these both out, but doesn't deal with the library problem now.
And I guess there's not a hideaway hiding in here.
I don't believe there's any hideaways hiding away. There's the Sisu.
Yep.
Converting, again, cards on board into cards in hand.
Go ahead.
Up to 19.
Goat. Oh, interesting. That's all we saw winning yesterday.
That's right. Games of Lorcana going till 17. A lot of cases at the encounter yesterday. A lot of Amethyst in the room and a lot of instant lore gain. Once again, 2 characters in the library, hitting the books.
Sam's cheating. That's why I win game 2.
What in the world is it? Oh, you were going to make a change and you just never got a chance to. I gotcha.
Oh, well, just because I can do this, I'm going to shift to Sisu. Yep. Play Man Maui. I'm going to blow up the library. And then go ahead. Can you please ready your things and draw a card? See, it wasn't there because you didn't need it.
No, did not need it. Don't waste your top decks when you don't need them. Save them for the finals of a big tournament.
My how far I'll go was Sisu Let It Go. No, I kept the Sisu and I was already holding the Let It Go.
Big thanks to everybody hanging out with us. We are here every Sunday night streaming some things that we like, including Lorcana. If you like Lorcana, there's also the IllumiNation podcast available every other Wednesday, everywhere you get fine podcasts.
Occasionally bonus episodes.
And we get bonus rants sometimes.
I think that's totally worthwhile doing.
Yeah, we were talking about doing a tournament report from our experience at Encounter Games and Comics out in Allentown, PA. They ran a very, very fun event. We really appreciate them doing that. Definitely trying to grow the Lorcana community. And boy, oh boy, were Sam and I really going ballistic on Tuesday once we found out there were cards that were going to be banned after having tested with decks we were pretty confident in taking to the tournament. And neither one of us ended up playing the decks that we were playing before the ban.
I was really surprised you settled on red purple.
I was having a tough time.
You pushed him to it?
It was back and forth. I had play tested it a decent amount with Matt and CJ. And then I was just like, you know what? I can't decide which thing that I want to do more or less. and I'm comfortable with either thing. So
So this is my 7. I'm pitching this half because it's stuff that I don't need until later in the game, and keeping the stuff that lets me do things in the beginning of the game.
that's a good idea. If you don't have a strong start, Sam can definitely run away with the game, even on the draw. It's your turn. No time for water.
No, you don't want uninkables? I want you to have uninkables.
Tough time with the camera in you today. There you go. A little bit.
I think tournament reports are fun. Hear people's experiences, what they played against, how they, how you feel about like card choices you made and
Right.
stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a good time to talk about, and you can reflect. And my problem is the amount of negativity I'll put about my gameplay.
I think you did fine.
I'd give it a C, maybe a C plus,
Oh, I think you're too hard on yourself.
but it's certainly better than the grade I would have gotten with Green Steel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did not want to play a deck that it feels like an unwinnable deck at times, and it also feels like an unwinnable deck at times for you. So it's very high roll, very high upside, very, very low downside. And I just would rather win or lose on my own merit versus the deck just refusing to cooperate. Because then you start to question, was it the deck not cooperating? Was it me not selecting the right cards? Was I altering incorrectly? Was I not taking the right lines during the game that didn't allow me to maximize my resources or take advantage of opportunities? It's a very skill-taxing deck, but it's also a very kind of self-harming deck, so I just didn't want to put myself through the mental anguish of Green Steel.
And from hearing like a bunch of people that have been there, it sounds like the room was ready for Green Steel.
It was
so
ready.
Which would have made it a lot worse.
Yeah. And I would be willing to say that the next most one of the next most popular cards that were evasive in the room would be Peter Pan Shadow Finder. So people were, even in non-straight removal decks, people were absolutely ready to take down Diablos. We even saw an uptick in the room of people playing Amethyst Emerald and using Peter Pan Shadowfinder into the Big Iago to help just smash things.
The one commentator was losing his mind the first time he saw that happen.
Yeah. It is a cool line. That Iago is just basically like evasive Maui. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Ink's the Fox.
It is huge mungus.
It is. Picks up the Diablo and replays it with the remaining ink. Cliff going up to...
How far I'll go?
Up to 5 unexerted ink this turn if he chooses to use it, and adding an extra ink into the inkwell exerted.
Vision.
Taking a vision of the future. A very clear vision. Quick pick.
And I think I'll let it go.
Sam draws for turn.
Yep.
Falcon turning into 2 lore and a card. Keeping the library nice and clear. And additional 2 lore being gained. Nothing in the library at this point for Sam. So library for turn took precedent over the original plan, which I agree with. I think the library just providing that diversification of lore really makes Cliff have to not have just a catch-all answer. Like if this turn was going to be a B prep, that looks a little bit worse now with library. Still looks okay, but doesn't feel as good as it would have where it's just blanking the board. I don't think you fire a B prep off into a Diablo and a Snake myself, but I've done stupider things in this game.
It might be the line I'm considering.
Sometimes. And this deck has a ton of sweepers in it, so...
Knowing the context of the rest of my hand. Yeah. So, instead of getting 3 cards, she gets 1 card.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
And if you can stem some of that card advantage, slow her down just enough to stay in the game here and keep using your 2 and 2+ for 1s to get yourself back into it.
Yes.
Withdrawing for turn. Going up to 8 lore. Sam not wanting her board C-suit. Just plays a goat, moves a goat.
6 on the library.
We like our boards un-C-sued. Understandable.
Go ahead.
Passive lure from the library, draws for turn.
You kind of really feel the lack of the additional card draw with the Hiram.
Oh, absolutely. I remember going from the more traditional red-blue decks to DKP initially and still feeling that.
Yeah.
And now this feels like a step down even from that.
Yeah.
Not as significant a step down, but still a step down nonetheless.
I don't like the reliance solely on big Sisu with everything having 3 or more attack.
Absolutely.
And you having nothing to do anything about that.
Right. It's Sam and I, the card we were discussing a lot when we were talking about this list in particular from DKP is the seemingly missing coils.
Yeah.
It just feels like with all those Sisus, why would you not want a coil?
Right. And I guess you don't want the items because you have nothing to do with them in like bunches, like to throw them away. And you don't want to just jam other bad items in to get value off of the Tamatoa.
Right.
I don't know. It just feels like you need something because you don't have enough B preps, and Pete really shuts down B prep.
Yeah, I agree completely. Takes a lot of thinking and a lot of plotting and a lot of planning, and sometimes you just don't have the turns available for all of that. That'll buy you some turns.
Good.
A goat and a snake versus a demigod.
It doesn't sound like it should be a fair fight.
Now, what if I told you that the creatures in question were magical?
Well, then I think they're winning.
Yeah, probably. That goat just duplicated itself. Now we're gonna get to hit a goat or a snake this turn.
I don't think Maui's gonna get to do anything.
Okay. Yep. 15.
Yeah, well, you know what? You deserve it.
Yeah, that's fair. Sam down to not a ton of cards in hand, which is somewhat good news. So again, as long as one of them is not a dock, then this is an okay place for.
It's always dock. She ran one out.
I'm just trying not to broadcast your hand.
I knew it was there. You ran out of naked dock.
That's fair. That is a pretty big tell. So again, diversifying the size of the character strength.
Where
makes
were you
this
last turn?
So tough for a single catch-all outside of Be Prepared.
So, always punished.
That seems to be the way of it. Yeah, you are. Yep. That's it. Oh my God.
Sure.
Yup. In all fairness, she beat me game 1 because she top decked a goat. Again, I did make a misplay, as you pointed out earlier in that game, but there was a goat involved. Had there not been a goat involved, I think I had it.
Your last card, goat.
Nice little shift there and challenge.
And I'll seal it.
Keep the board clear of everything but one Pico.
Must be nice to draw, 3 of the same card in the top 20 cards of your deck.
Better lucky than good, Cliff. I told at least 2 opponents that yesterday.
So it's, it's the motto.
It is. It's how I get by. Need some Pirates Lives here is going to really be the most critical card we could play at this juncture, I feel like. At 6 lore, might be able to actually do something in addition, like a small card like a Sail.
This card not helpful right now.
No. You could have sang it with Sisu.
Yeah. I could have sang this with Maui that I drew it at the turn after I B-prepped.
Dig in for a Pirate's Life.
You got it.
Okay. No Pirate's Life to be had. It's a Amethyst Steel Life for Sam. Appreciate everybody hanging out once again. This is the IllumiNation podcast, part of the Superliminal Entertainment production crew. We got that going on in the chat there, a little band goat shenanigans.
Thanks, CJ. Yes, ban it. Wait, no, sorry, let's errata it. We errata uncommons.
Yeah.
And we ban rares and commons.
Yeah.
He's going to be uninkable and only gain lore when he leaves play. No. He doesn't gain lore when he comes in.
Even if it was just if they changed leaves play to banished, that would just make things so much better.
Yeah, but they took Bucky out behind multiple sheds.
Yeah, they did. They really did. But wait, there's more.
Ban Doc, it draws 2 cards and leads to too many consistent gameplay.
We're opening some of the Japanese boosters that we got as part of Sam's prize, and the Bucky is the errated Bucky in the pack.
Oh.
Yeah, feels bad.
4.
Zipper Ghost, thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Don't forget to reset your lore totals.
I could probably start it too, and it wouldn't matter.
Who's the first player? Hit your button. All right, so we see Sam's hand here. She is contemplating what she wants to do. I see probably a couple cards that can go back. She's going to put back the 6 she's holding up. Keep 1 lone card there.
Ellie, thanks for keeping my feet warm.
It already looks like that was an improvement just with those first few cards. Yeah, that was a big, big change in card quality.
And I'm going to throw these away because 3 of them are the same card.
Yes, they are.
And they all cost 8.
Yes, they do.
So I know I can't draw 3 of them.
That's right. The hand won't be as bad. Guaranteed.
I got cards that are inkable.
Good deal. That was different than 3 of the ones you put back.
It was.
And that's definitely one of the trickiest things in this game is really getting used to the best way to alter your hand. And not only does it feel like, obviously, like, in the abstract, you want to be able to do things in the first few turns that build towards something impressive as you transition into the mid-game. But every deck does it a little bit differently. Some decks very aggressively mulligan. Some decks want a little bit of a softer approach because you definitely can put yourself into a much worse situation. So, for example, when I'm playing Emerald Steel, I'm not ridiculously aggressive. Like, I'm not just trying for Diablo, but I'm trying for a sequence of cards, whether it's like Ursula into Pete Shift or something like that is an acceptable set of cards to keep. But I will usually keep, on average, I would say my keep is probably around 3 to 4 cards versus something like the Ruby Amethyst deck that I played yesterday. I tend to softly mulligan that because I don't want to put myself in a position where my hand is not functional. And usually I'm dealing with, as long as my early game is good enough and on a reasonable enough curve, I'm pretty happy keeping.
trying something different this time. Before I was just inking T-pose.
Okay.
Now I'm trying to play T-po instead of the sail.
He is threatening.
I can kill a Turnerbox follower.
And you have to respect that 1-0 super goof that Tipo can team up with sometimes.
Oh, here he comes. Yep.
Oh, get wrecked. Super goof. Coming in, punching, and gaining cliff. 2 lore.
Go. You can trade off with it, and then you probably have a fox to take this out, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay, well that's better than my line. For me.
Better for you, for sure. The lack of fox, just kind of a... just like a save the rose versus progress things, and a pretty inefficient turn in terms of ink overall. Not a bad thing. But I agree with not wanting to just sacrifice the rose to a Tipo if you can help it. But those are the sequences and exchanges Cliff really needs to buy him some time. Every turn that he can spend ramping, because Sam's not progressing her board too egregiously, is a win for Cliff.
Cool.
Let's see what Sam's interested in doing with this particular snake.
I don't understand why you go down 6-drop Tamato with less card draw.
Unsure. I like the way Tamatoa played in that deck. Even just like getting back the Popsicles was
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is possible. And the songs were definitely a nod to the Diablos, which is a cool way to tech into Diablo, where it's just like, as opposed to dealing with a card like we saw a lot of Peter Pan Shadow Finders at the tournament, things like that. As opposed to that, we saw Helga and Sam's deck here. Instead of dealing with the Diablos on a 1-for-1 basis, DKP went for a more long-term approach by just getting to 8 ink fastest and just slamming down a Sisu and dealing not only with the troublesome Diablo, but any other small characters out on board like Prince John. It's really nice. Elegant way to handle a problem like that. It always feels good when you see them like, oh, good, they're playing the last card, and then you see that dock, and you're just like,
Then your eyes roll into the back of your head.
Yep, the big eye rolls are real. Calhoun taking out Grammatala while she has the chance. Maui presenting a bit of a problem for Sam, as Maui often does. Maui might be a 3-for-1 here.
It's over to take out the rose.
Oh, a demigod and a little boy lives at the manor.
Go. So I'm running out the manor to try and pressure her to have to start interacting with me instead of just questing away.
Absolutely. And it makes sense here. It's just a 6 lore difference, which the manor can catch up with pretty quickly. Obviously, Sam can continue to progress her board state, but if she does that, she puts both of these cards at risk. Maui is just waiting. If Cliff plays something like a Popsicle, it could be even worse if she quests with the dock, because that's not a clean exchange anymore.
Yep. Oof.
That is a big referee. Is Doc going to take out the Maui, or is Doc going to quest? Sam says, I'll spin the wheel. It's a risky line, but I get the concept of wanting to continue to push things forward.
Trade off the Pete.
Pete goes down, so he can't get picked up. Another Maui comes down to claim Doc. Inks a sail, passes the turn. So we know we have a crab in hand because it got picked up already. So it could come back down and the snake could exchange for the Maui. clear the second Maui, but then we're down to a board state of a crab, maybe a crab plus one other character. Not a whole lot of pressure, which is exactly the kind of turn sequence Clip's waiting for.
Yeah.
It's a tough turn for sure. Sam electing to quest. Slaps down Helga Sinclair. The downside of Helga Sinclair as a piece of tech for a specific deck is if they're not playing that specific deck, it can feel a little worse. But Helga's got inroads to hitting a shark. But Helga's also very susceptible to being CC'd.
Yes.
So there's positives and negatives to be sure about what's going on here with this Helga Sinclair. Popsicle coming down, drawing a card as a Popsicle does. Still a legal card in the game. Taking a look at 2, inking 1, putting 1 into hand. Is this 2 cards you're unhappy to see, or?
No, I'm just not sure, like, so it's an all is found and a develop? Like, I don't know if I just want the all is found to go straight, like, to let me get right to 9 so I can kind of stop inking, or if I just want the develop just to keep filtering.
It's a good question.
So I think I'm going to end up taking the develop because it's like, it's -1 if I all is found versus, like, singing it or playing it, but it still lets me get closer to being able to play all my answers. I'll develop. We're just kind of looking for threats to keep running out. Ultimately, we want her to run out of cards.
Two Helga-proof Mauis, though we do know, again, that crab is still looming in hand.
Yep.
A free hit on Tipo, we have a trade into a Maui. Neither.
That was unexpected.
Sam says, F it, gain a lure.
We got Helga.
Helga down. Singing Maui. Turns crabs into ink. Just liquefied a crab.
Go ahead.
Everybody's having a party at the manor. Maui's telling tales about how he just liquefied an entire crab. White Rose coming down, getting a lure.
I would love to draw a Tamatella.
The value crab. Party at the manor, gaining some lore.
That's not what I wanted to draw. This is awkward. Blow the world up. I am reckless with my Be Prepareds.
I mean, you have so
Go
many
ahead.
sweepers in this deck.
Yeah, but Maui's don't do anything?
Maui has kind of ended his usefulness outside of singing an occasional ditty. Now let's see if he'll Sisu to get rid of one Chernobog's followers.
If I had a Sisu, I would definitely be playing it because it quests for 3.
Yeah. I'm going to close the game out.
I'm petered. That means I can't do anything with the cards in my hand.
Pete always putting the squeeze on these blue and red decks saying, hey, can't do anything this turn. And that is so much of the deck, especially this DKP version. Obviously not an item build, very much more of an action build. So when something like Pete comes down, it just can freeze the game so spectacularly.
Yep.
Tipo to the library. Top deck a dock, of course.
Aggressive eye rolls.
Quest with the followers. Sam's scared after that last B prep. She's afraid. She doesn't know how desperate Cliff will be to use more B preps. The mana, though, slowly ticking up. Ever closer.
It's the inevitability.
13. It's 2 lore difference here. Sam was to draw a card from her Diablo trigger. Another Tipo.
He quests for 1. Ugh. Van Goat. Ugh.
17, Snake on board. 15 on Cliffside. Really need that Pirate's Life. Everybody party at the manor. Oh, this is a tough turn. Sam would really like to quest here with the snake.
There's B preps in there. And I'm not afraid to use them. I haven't seen one. I think I inked one on like turn 2.
Sam goes to 18 in spite of Maui Shark. 19 with the goat. And plays out a Smee for posterity's sake.
So you just gave me the win?
Yeah.
Hey, even if you take it out, so I'll go back to 19, it's fine. I can punch that and get it back developed.
Yeah.
Or any of the actions.
Maui, just becomes insta-burn with all of
no.
the actions.
You can't do it. Even if you punch this, you can't do anything. Like, you had to kill this or the manor. Or win.
Yeah. That's the nice thing about the DKP deck is it just has that end game reach, similar to Goat Bounce Goat.
Mankle. Nope, just one.
Just the one he said.
The other 3 were somewhere in here.
So that was game 1 of set 2.
Correct.
Going to Cliff there.
I won game 1 last time.
You did. Were you on the play or on the draw this time?
I was on the draw both times.
On the draw. Stole a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's wild. Because you were 5th? Yeah. Right.
Yes, Max knows.
But again, congratulations to both of you.
It was a good run.
I know it feels bad to not win, but realistically, you have no reason to be disappointed in the day.
We're mostly pleased and quite tired.
Yeah, a long day.
That was a crazy, 10-plus hour day of Lorcana.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Grabbed some chicken tendies, but I actually had the break because I was able to split my last round. So we ID'd, and I was able to go get a little bit of food. I did. Toby yelled at me. Well, technically, he asked Sabrina to ask me why the F I would split.
Well, I think that's was the other interesting thing about the event, because usually when it's a 2K, 3K, or whatever, it's just store credit.
Yeah.
So at the top and maybe potentially X number of packs.
Yes.
So it's really easy to be like, hey, it's been a really long day. Does everyone just want to split? You take whatever. But since you were playing for different prizes at different levels,
right.
you can't chop that up. I mean, you could chop it up.
You wouldn't be happy about it.
Right. You could cut her up.
Would everybody like $0?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, you went through the whole mulligan. Jeez.
Okay, so I'm on the draw against Purple Steel again. I'm going to throw away the things that are expensive. and look for ramp.
Oh yeah, that particular card, in my opinion, is one of, if not the worst card in the deck
What would be the worst card?
against the blue-red strategies. Oh yeah, no, it's very, very rare that card against the Ruby Sapphire deck especially. It's like there's just like turn 12 if they quested with a Sisu or something. It's
Yeah,
like
it's very
cool,
good
I'll
into
top deck
Sisu.
that. Yeah. Cool, I'll top deck it.
Right.
Did you alter?
I did.
Okay.
I revealed it.
Oh good.
It didn't get much better.
That's what I thought, okay.
Right. You want it in a world where like Daisy Duck is running around again and like that sort of stuff.
Right. Yeah, it's funny how the fear reaction to Diablo decks are going to be the best deck accidentally scared everybody into oops all evasives now.
Right.
Like it's just like that's when we were playing. Sam was just like, your whole board is evasive. What am I supposed to do? I was just like, well, all these cards are just meant to kill Diablo, but the other side benefit is if you're not prepared for all these evasives, they can just quest.
Right.
The Helga Peter Pan Shadowfinder interaction is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Because she has evasive on your turn.
Yeah.
Oh, Cliff, one thing we did get that you'd be interested in out of the Japanese Bloodborne packs is 2 foil car Cruellas.
Ooh.
Yeah.
She loves running things over with her car.
She does.
It's like her favorite thing to do in the whole wide world.
It is. I feel like the card stock's different, too, this time from Chapter 1 for the Japanese cards.
Does it feel more normal?
Feels more like what we're used to, for sure. A little less thick.
It is surprising how easily you can tell that it's a Japanese card double sleeved.
Double sleeved, yep. I agree. That's why I took them out, because I really can tell the difference. Like, it's not just like, I don't think people are being ridiculous when they say
it's like an egregious.
It's apparent. Like, if you were to just thumb your, like, the very top card, you could feel that resistance, for sure, I feel like. Not that I do that, that's just weird, but I feel like I could. And that's not okay.
You always have it. When have you ever not had it?
Yeah, that's a fair question. Sam does always have it.
There's a Pete, a Doc, and another Doc.
The Docs love to come in pairs. It's never an individual Doc. Inks of Maui plays a Grammatala, trying to sculpt that hand while adding to the board. I mean, Grandma's just proven to be such a card. Like, when I first saw Grandma, I didn't think too much into it, and I started to see people playing it more and more in the Ruby Sapphire lists, and I was just like, is this card that good? And she's just become such a staple.
She sings a bunch of important songs, regardless of what you're doing.
Good stat size.
It's fine. And she filters.
So Sam played a library, moved the Chernobog's followers into the library, quested using their ability, which on the library draws an additional card. So turning the library into a bit of a card advantage engine in tandem with the followers. Smee's not in the library, correct? Okay. So we just have an empty library and one bumbling mate. We have one bumbling mate.
Nope.
I know, Ellie's right under your feet.
She's moved a little bit.
Ellie, you're
She's
in the
fine.
way.
She's still my favorite.
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys are okay. She's great.
Yeah, she's certainly good at getting in your way. If you like big dopey dogs, we have a big dopey dog. Just watch the stand clamp there. Mostly just because I don't want you to jam your knee into the thing. But also, you might just send down the rig. I don't know. I don't think so either. Blue-red over there doing blue-red things. This is the kind of turn that Cliff is very much looking for. Like, being able to advance the the ink count very quickly while not giving up any resources of reasonable size on board. Kind of putting Sam to the test of what do you want to do with this Calhoun now?
I got to ink 4 times that turn.
That was pretty gross.
I realistically never need to ink ever again.
Yep. If only there was a big grandma out.
Oh, God. Don't tempt me like that.
Bleen's back on the menu. It's really not. It's worse now. Way worse now.
Yeah.
The big controlling deck has gone away. The big ramp decks have gotten quite a blow taken to them.
I want nothing more than to sit here, draw cards, and put things in my inkwell and
Just
win the game.
Passively win the game by taking game actions you would otherwise take normally. Drawing cards, resourcing. That was me. I accidentally leaned on the desk. We hosted a Learn to Play today, Sam and I, because we weren't sick of Lorcana after 10+ hours of it yesterday over at our friend Tony's store, the Dragon's Vault. It's the vault for the dragon, and we got to see a lot of Matanuis getting played in some starter decks, which was pretty cool. So we got to teach some new folks how to play. It was a mix of people who had played a little bit and wanted to learn more, and some people who have never played the game before and were really looking to get a good full grasp of it. So it was a fun event. I think everybody said they learned a little bit of something or another from the event. So I told them to be honest because I want to make sure the events don't suck in the future, and they all said that they learned a little bit and things they didn't know, and that's always a big win.
I think it would be interesting, not that it's like, I don't know how it would work currently with like the current card, like to try and institute like a league for like Lorcana or whatever to like just for new players.
I was thinking about trying to ask Tony if he'd be interested in doing some form of event once in a while. It could be just once a month, because he has a lot of promos and things that, like all of us, get enough of them over the course of, because we'll play at a couple of different stores because we want to play Lorcana on the regular. Surprise, we're streaming it. But I think that the casual players want a chance to be able to get promos and just being able to create an environment where you're not just winning games, but playing games is what you really want. Not necessarily raffles for winning, but like raffling off prizes, not just rewarding the players who are doing the best, can help foster some fun decks. And there's like a bunch of fun decks that I've been wanting to put together. I would love to try to put together like aerial gadget item storm kind of thing would be really fun to put together. There's also like my Musketeers deck that I have just kind of sitting around that's itching to be played. So there's a lot of cool decks that can be played alongside of people who are relatively new to the game.
Or even if we took like a pauper approach, like for Magic, where it's just like commons and uncommons only, or what, peasant.
Right.
Can you stop, please?
Can't stop, won't stop.
I asked politely.
See, I'm trying to close out the game by chaining Pete's here and keeping Cliff off of Pirate's Life. Be prepared, etc. She's going to need a little bit of help to get over the finish line, it looks like. 15 going up to 17 on board. And Cliff trying to get back into the lure race.
Oh, for the love of God, stop.
Once again chaining that Pete.
You have another one?
She keeps playing that one because the one in her hand is not foil. Did you not get enough foil Peach yesterday? Huh.
You're gonna vote.
The one real big advantage, again, just that Pirate's Life not being able to be used to lower Sam's lure total. Damn. Didn't we just tell you not to waste top deck goats just practicing on stream?
I don't even need to do anything, and I just yeah. Just for me to then win on after my draw step. Oh yeah. Oh right, because you had another Pete. I have nothing because my whole hand is actions.
Actions.
Pete. Yeah.
The old repeat. I mean, that was initially what people were calling this deck out of the gate was repeat. Because that is one of the lines this deck can take is to just play Pete, pick up Pete, play Pete, and it just shields you from all these powerful actions.
Just not questing. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a peasant or pauper style thing, or like even if you limited like the number of legendaries, super rares, and rares and stuff.
Right. No, that's kind of cool. Or it could be like we restrict ourselves to it.
Yeah.
Just as like a fun like little like this is one night we're having new people come out, so we're putting these ridiculous restrictions on ourselves.
Yeah.
Or like we could do the old there was that the Magic the auction of the people where they would have ridiculous decks and they could like auction them off and like different players would have to play these absurd decks.
144 card Jafar wheel.
Right, right.
In piles. Look, people used to play Battle of Wits in Magic. 250 cards.
Yep.
I'll be able to play.
I definitely remember a friend of ours playing his deck in one of the Fat Pack boxes to try to keep it standing upright without falling over. It's been presenting you with some pretty rocky hands.
So I'm still sticking with like this as my opening play because the rest of the stuff is just too slow, and I can't rely on this to be like there at all. So just sticking with these two. Throw in 5.
Right, it doesn't have I don't think there's a single card in here that has the hallmark of something that lets you get off to a good start or even really hit a curve. Like you can't keep a snake with no 1-drop to pick up. It just doesn't make sense. You're not going to keep just like a random white rose in the hope of like after you alter, you're going to have a 3-drop that you're going to want to play. So it's just silly to way more smooth and functional than the previous set was.
I just feel like this deck just auto loses to Pete. With like there only being like 24 characters or whatever it is.
Sure. That's totally valid. It's hard to position yourself into playing around Pete. It's almost like sometimes you're just throwing out like a quote-unquote test manner to see what they can do at a certain point, or firing off a really aggressive sweeper just to see how they recover and then be able to kind of hit a key turn where they stumble and you hold just enough of an advantage. It's a tricky deck to play for sure, and it plays a little different than the traditional Ruby Sapphire decks we're used to. Flip back over to Sam's turn. She's inking a 1-drop. Likely means a 2-drop coming, and there's indeed a Calhoun. Calhoun not particularly strong in this matchup either, often just gaining 2 lure once, or might get 3 out of her if she can quest and then finish off a Maui or something similar.
Go ahead. I mean, clearly something's right, because didn't he just win with this at
He did.
a big event or whatever?
Yeah, huge Ultimate Guard sponsored tournament in Germany, I believe. It was 128 people or something like that. It was very big, 2 days. Happy to see a couple fellow Ruby Amethyst enjoyers in that top 8. One of the decks was really cool. It was playing Lumiere.
Okay.
That gives everything +1 strength.
It's like it's used then.
So cool. Makes Diablo, that 1-drop Diablo so much better.
Because then it punches for 4, right?
It can punch the purple Diablo can punch for 1.
Can now actually punch.
Yep. Also, cards like Peter Pan Shadowfinder, Genie in that line, or just get even better, being able to punch the green Diablos in a cove, things like that. See, I'm already off to an extremely wide board very quickly, which is not what Cliff wants to see. Now let's have the Shark do some good work here. Clears a Calhoun. Double Pulpsicle if Cliff feels so inclined.
Get back sail.
I think he knows. Pretty sure he has healed with a Pulpsicle more than a few times.
A lot.
They go to the discard for you to get back with a Tamatoa 6 is basically what they do, yeah. There's no mouse eating them. There are no Pulpsicle enjoyers. Two very, very healthy Maui Sharks on this board is a pretty nice way to approach the game state. Sam at 7 though, going to be able to go into double digits here and crack in if she wants to. I think she does. Inks a Magic Broom. Plays a Pete, does not trigger her Magic Broom. Plays Dock. She gets to trigger Dock. Dock effect in the bag and resolves. Now she gets to choose to trigger the Magic Broom if she would like. Does she want to keep that threat on board? Next turn coming into 8 lure or 8 ink for Cliff. Does that change her mind? It does.
I'm petered.
Yep. So Pete is active. We can play a Sisu, which would remove a Dock and a Diablo. Not the most ideal, but definitely something. We have some Sharks that are just itching to punch. They won't be the most value-gaining Sharks of all time, but Get Back a How Far is not anything to sneeze at while clearing 2 characters. I don't hate it.
Nope.
You get Maui triggers.
Oh, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
have one thing to return. Wish I could pick up Popsicles.
You need the other character, the other 6-drop to do that. Back down under a Pete. Quest up to 12. Again, if Cliff can eke out some time here, it's going to be a very close one. Maui comes in, hits a Pete. Popsicle, healing the Maui, who is not half of a shark.
5.
Questing up to 5.
Waiting for CJ's hashtag ban Pete next.
Yeah, right? Shout out to Artemis Siege out there in the chat. Appreciate everybody being here on a Sunday night super stream. Having some fun playing some decks, doing well. Shooting down the Sisu with the strength of a raging fire, questing for a whole lot. We are unlocked from Pete's bias refereeing. The card Sam hoping to dodge here is too many copies of A Pirate's Life. A gain of 4, drain of 2 off the Pirate's Life with 2 sharks out. So this is rough because another shark could challenge even just a little Diablo, not take any damage, get the Pirate's Life back, and it could be replayed this very turn if need be. Cliff setting up maybe just for lethal here. Again, that single Pirate's Life can get 4. There's got to be something here, right? Got to be 2 actions. But, I mean, that's
5.
Is he able to close it out here? One action would do it. 5. Is it a ramp? Oh, it's a Maui.
Trying to figure out what I want to punch. Go.
Sam going to be able to go up to as high as 15 here this turn. No evasives to challenge the Sharks. It's got to be a win or cry scenario here. Be prepped for the win. No, I think you gave it your best shot.
No, if you had a bounce for the Pete, I lose.
Was that a 2-0?
Yeah.
Nice. Got a nice clean 2-0 there for the DKP deck.
It's not easy, though.
It is not.
This matchup is miserable. No.
It's tough. It's tough now, especially for Cliff, who was definitely a Hiram Flaversham enjoyer, to have to kind of now wade through the large pools of Lorcana to try to figure out what deck you would like to try your hand at. 'Cause, I mean, you've been playing that since set 2.
Yeah, when I started playing.
Right.
And then I took a break when Bucky existed because it was just better in general with the field we had around here.
Yeah.
Can't play Blue Steel.
No, it's a rough time right now for people who are trying. You get some folks who are definitely still trying to make the Ruby Sapphire strategy work.
Yeah.
For better or worse, there's like some cool item builds we saw yesterday at Encounter as well, which is really neat.
Okay.
Seeing like abusing Queen and Maurice's workshops and things like that.
No, I was busy working. I will go first.
He was punk rocking.
I was.
Enjoying the Dawn of the Dead soundtrack on vinyl.
It was on vinyl. It was very expensive. Do you want to take a guess?
No.
You don't want to take a guess?
Was it the original pressing? Do you know?
I think so.
It's a lot, because anything Goblin does the soundtrack for fetches a decent premium. 200.
125.
Okay. So she's going to keep the cards that are all the way to screen left.
You're on the draw. Did buy a Supremes album while I was there.
Oh, nice. Very classic purple style hand.
All right, let's see here. I already got one card that I'm definitely keeping. I got a whole bunch I'm keeping. We're just throwing this one away. Is it right? Probably not. Is it what I'm doing? Of course.
It is. You're seeing it in real time.
I drew this. It was off camera, so it was a surprise to me and you.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was at the New Jersey Punk Rock Flea Market on Saturday. Well, you guys were jamming games. There was a bunch of people there that we knew. I mean, probably a better time. I still would have been and am still salty that I can't play my Hirams.
I'm back from my craft services gig after having worked in the camera department before that.
Oh, well, somebody just watched me take a swig of water.
That's okay. Hydrating's important. It's one of our point redemptions.
Alrighty.
Both players off to a good start here, both playing a card on turn 1. See if they can keep the momentum going. Cliff does indeed. Does he have a follow-up popsicle to go with this sail?
I wish I had a follow-up popsicle. We just have a develop.
Respectable follow-up.
That's an easy choice.
Huh.
Go ahead.
You kind of spoke that one into existence, I feel like.
I did.
Sam inking. Strength, it looked like. Not a very
Yeah.
good card in this matchup. Yeah, it's a very specific card in this matchup.
It kills this. Or sorry, banishes grandma.
It does banish a grandma nice and easy.
Go ahead.
So we got 3 1-drops that could easily just turn into cards in hand if need be.
That's true. A lot of cards.
Yeah. You just refill. It might be a little preemptive, but leaving a card, one character exerted. And we have Grandma here who's keeping all these small characters in check as it is. They're following you. That's their job, see? They're Chernobog's followers. So that makes you Chernobog.
Are you? All right.
Thinking. We got a white rose trigger. We have a broom trigger. We have another broom trigger, all of which are being used. It's a little funny.
I'm going
To turn our small assemblage of 1-drops into a bunch of lure and cards in hand. Cliff going for the super ramp on 5.
Go.
Contemplating the ink return here. Ink's a snake.
That's one less Pete.
That's one less Pete in this game. Drops Calhoun. Quest with the white rose. Play a different snake. Pick up the white rose. It is definitely a slower, more methodical pace for this game than we've seen from most of the other ones. So it feels like Sam is falling a bit behind. Cliff being able to
Heal
ramp.
grandma.
Being able to ramp so quickly on that last turn, being able to make a very strong play ahead of schedule like Tamatoa 6, get back to Popsicles. So a nice healthy hand next turn on the very cheap can start to get converted into other things.
Nope.
Grandma staying upright, no questing or singing for her today.
I don't want Sam to get 2 instead of 1 off Calhoun.
Yeah. Totally makes sense to me. And now the onus is on Sam to try to figure out what she wants to do against this Tamatoa. Goes back to gaining lore. It's a good place to start. Plays out a Diablo. Thinking about inking. Trying to decide the lesser of 2 evils here. Decides the lesser is library. Contemplating a quest with the snake. Not that, because that just came in. Calhoun is eligible to quest if she so chooses. Saying, all right, I'll go for it. It's a ballsy move into 2 Popsicles, but you need 20 lure to win the game, plain and simple.
Heal.
Could be another Tamatoa. Oh, more super ramp. Turning every card in the inkwell into other or every card in the discard into inkwell resources is tremendous.
Nope.
Leaves Cliff in a position where he will have to not really ink very often. Maybe over the next couple of turns if he feels like he needs it to start playing 2 cards in 1 turn. But
Everything has 3 attack.
yes.
Except for Diablo.
Yes. Ink's a strength. Deploys the Doc to draw 2. Doc, who's there? Quest for 2, up to 11 lure.
You're fired.
Doc, who's there? My new hand. I figured it wasn't. You're used to my bad jokes. We lose 2 Docs and a Diablo here from Sisu. Draw a card to replenish. Question is Tamatoa going to challenge a White Rose? Is it just going to quest for 2 and put down a free item? Challenge here to hold back some lure gain. This is a tough spot. Close so far ahead on ink resources. So far ahead that he feels comfortable questing with Tipo.
That top knot's terrifying.
It is. Calhoun into Diablo, into pass. Sam wanting to diversify the size of her threats here so that she can't get Sisu'd again. Makes a lot of sense. You don't want to overcommit too far either and get be-prepped.
Great.
Manor is deployed. The brain is being developed.
Nope.
And we're once again creating that split focus for Sam. Which I think more often than challenge, the manor often becomes a question of, I guess I just ignore this now, shrug.
I think so. 4. I guess it depends on like where she's at lore-wise.
Right.
Being this close to winning, I think you just ignore it.
I think you have to. From here, it's just I want to push to close the game out. You're either going to stabilize the board or not. How far to try to find some more cards? Again, just these free inks really looking impressive, keeping Cliff very resource heavy in the inkwell department. Tipo stopping Diablo from future quests, but turning into a card. The brain is being once again more developed. I think it's like a you want like a not a smooth brain. The smoother your brain is, the less developed it is. So you want like a very wavy, carved in brain. Cliff using Pirate's Life here to buy a little bit of time. Stops him from questing up too aggressively. Has that Sisu that can be traded with a goat. I'm going to go for the quest instead. Again, just foot to the gas. Oops, all goats.
Every day.
Need some pirates' lives up in here. The only thing that can stop a goat. The life of a pirate. I don't know what about being a pirate and their lifestyle is so not conducive to being a goat, but here it is. Looks like neither card to you can't see Cliff's face, I can. So I saw neither of those cards look too exciting.
All right, let's see how much dumb stuff I can do since I've lost.
We're in the take game actions part of the game. 10 to 18. The old Sisu shift takes out one dock.
Going out on my own terms.
Sings to be prepared and gain Sam's relure.
No.
Game does end at 20.
Yeah. Yeah, you were at 17. You played 3 docks. Don't tell me there were no docks. I had to ink 2 pirates' lives.
Yes, you did. You did ramp like crazy, though. That was nuts.
There's just like no payoff
Right. It's
for
just
the
kind of
ramp.
it's just trying to do those turns where you just have out the shark and you can just go action, 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 action with like a pirate's life flourish at the end.
I think it needs something because right now it gets miserable to try and deal with Pete's and Calhouns and Smees and goats and foxes and
I think that deck wants
right. Right.
that deck really feels like it wants like some like 3-cost thievery that's draw a card attached to it.
Yeah.
So you can just keep chaining through a bunch of little things while you're burning them out on those big. Like that one turn you had where it was just wham, 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 wham with 2 sharks out. You gained so much lore in that turn. It was just like you just ran. It feels like that's kind of a board state it wants to build to, or I guess more consistently defending that manner for like 2 to 3 turns and then having a small version of that explosion of like, okay, I've been drawing all these develops and sales and things, and now all of a sudden I get to convert those cards into like 4 to 6 lore.
1. I will go first. You were. I'm gonna throw, I think, these cards away because I don't think I want them in the beginning still. Because this just gets punched to death so easily.
Sam's going to keep 2 and alter 5 cards, a lot of which are either inconsequential in the matchup or would rather be seen at a later point for the most part. That got a little bit better. Not spectacular, I would say. Above average, especially based on what we've been seeing tonight in some of these games.
Alrighty. Move on to
Clip is on the play for this game 2 of the set.
Goofy.
Inks a super goof.
Develop. Somebody got a little too excited about that. Go ahead.
Starting off with a develop.
I don't know why we cut down on these with like the format being so aggressive.
He thought they just didn't do enough,
I mean, that's fair.
but was using them essentially for the end game to game 2 lore.
I mean, I guess that was my complaint about them the other day, but like,
Right.
I don't know. You're running 8 Mauis. Why isn't Fishhook in here?
Right. You love that fish hook.
I do, and it lets Super Goof punch for 5. Or have evasive.
Evasive super goof would be good in this current metagame. One drop on 1, 2
So
1
many
drops on
things.
2. Is just able to do a lot. So let's see if Cliff can ramp maybe on this turn. See what he goes for here. It's exactly what it is, a ramp card. Makes a lot of sense. He wants to get up to a sweeper effect as quickly as possible. So now we're at the point where Maui, who is not a half shark, can do something. Maui, who is a half shark, can look imposing. So with just 1 Maui, Sam says,
Ooh,
have
stuck
at it.
on 2.
No ink from Sam there. There is the imposing looking shark. 4 characters on board if Sam's sandbagging a Strength of a Raging Fire. It's going to be hard to, because no singer last turn really kind of sets her back, so it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough road to hoe. Nice thing about the Chernobog Swallowers is we can convert them into cards while still gaining lure, so they're not susceptible to being challenged by the shark. Just make sure you put those effects in the bag as fast as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Sam debating if she wants to do any further questing here, or if she's happy with just the Pete blowing the whistle here. The nice thing is Cliff can't deploy a Pirate's Life and then get back a Pirate's Life with that sequence. It's really nice. Deciding to cash in for another card. Passes back. No quest with the Diablo.
He's swimming in the pool. Go ahead.
And the shark now owns a luxury residence in Duckburg.
Duckburg.
Mm-hmm. We got the 5 characters. Does Pete sing a strength? He does not. Cliff gets his lure gain from the manor. Sam with a mix of characters on board, not as susceptible to a Sisu. Nothing exerted for Maui to come at. Helga obviously threatening if there's a crab being held back in hand. Maui doesn't get just a free quest here. So Helga doing a surprising amount even against something as threatening as Maui Shark. Cliff daring Sam to have the crab. Going for the beat prep. Sam gets 1 card from the Diablo trigger.
Go ahead. McDuck Manor versus the world.
And now it is just 1 very large estate. We play Diablo, play Helga. It's a very Sisu-able board. But 2 cards back off of the Sisu would be not the worst thing ever.
Sam looks disgusted at Max every time he says, Sisu's bad for me.
It's the people who are watching, who we appreciate dearly, that I'm commentating for. It's not for you.
You have 1 card in hand? 2. Ugh. You have more cards in hand than me. Even though I blow up the world, you get 2 of them back. He did.
Hiram got banned, so you now have
Ouch.
less cards in hand.
Ow, you know what, that hurts.
That is a low blow.
I thought we were friends. You're just over here being mean.
He hasn't even had a full week to recover yet, Sam.
That's what we put up with. I don't know what I want to take. I'm gonna go with this. That's neither here nor there.
A tough vision here, getting a popsicle. Okay. All is found, getting back 2 cards into the inkwell from the discard. Sam inking strength rather aggressively.
Oh.
She is discarding Helga.
Stupid Helga.
Stupid Helga was called.
Although I believe Helga helped you a whole lot yesterday.
Helga looked good. Definitely did some good work.
Oh, Helga's stupid, but I'll save it.
For additional damage on the luxury residence. Nine to 8. Very tight game here, which is not good news for Sam. And Cliff having that big ramp turn last turn makes things even worse.
I'm having fun listening to this.
I'm just calling it as I sees it. I mean, Cliff does have to do, he does have to either protect his manor or try to do something.
Your things are all dead.
Now he has so much ink.
Yes.
Draws 2 cards.
Go ahead.
1 for turn. So a nice size hand, which is the bad side of the coin for Cliff, that Sam now has many resources to potentially redeploy.
What's that?
Taking a page out of Cliff's book and playing down a location. This one's just full of books. It is not a luxury estate. But I mean, if I got an entire library as a gift, I'd be pretty happy myself. Wouldn't have to be a whole manor. Crab has been healed, so the larger crab can get back some item. Just item singular. Oh, a crab and a shark. One more from the
Unlikely
library.
best friends.
The luxury residence has been fully dismantled. Helga.
Helga's not that stupid now, is she?
Doc. We can move everything to the library. We can continue adding to our board. It's a nice setup here with Crab and Helga. We'll see if Cliff can try to navigate around that. I'm electing to put everything into the library for some studying.
Which library? Throw. Develop. Develop.
Starting to get some of that lure generation from the Maui shark.
I have not inked return yet.
Popsicle. Popsicle. No lure gain from the items, just from actions with Maui shark. Grammatala coming down. It's got to provide him some comfort that B prep might not be on the agenda here.
Yep.
Helga exchanging for a shark.
Totally should have healed that, but you know, mistakes are made.
A lot of popsicles.
Yeah. Such fond memories. Getting to
Gets
blow
the
them up.
snake, or the giant cobra. Draws 2. Sam asks if Cliff is holding a Sisu.
Shark
He
and a
says,
sail.
why, yes, I am. We're on to game 3 of the third set.
10. We'll be done after this one.
And I can jump in and fill in spot for you.
Get some real high tier gameplay, unlike what we're seeing right now.
I don't know about all that, but we can play. We definitely won't be playing DKP. I can tell you that much. I tried DKP. I failed.
I don't like it.
It's not. I like it, but I don't think I could play it at a competitive and like a high enough competitive level that I'm comfortable playing it. Like practicing with it, it's almost pointless for me to practice with it.
Yeah, you just have to endlessly jam games into everything and just try different things, try different things, try different things, try different things.
Yeah, it feels like you've been leveling up what you should be doing.
I mean,
You look less happy the more you figured it out, though, I will say.
I think the games that I've won, though, has been more on you stumbling than me doing something extraordinary.
That's fair. Sam is going to alter every card in her hand, which I think is fair. This is a pretty the whole hand is very reactive. Every card in the hand just about is, outside of Giant Cobra, was reactive. So she's putting it back, and she's going to show us what she got. No, it's got more proactivity to it, so I'll be able to play on a curve and get out on the front foot somewhat.
So I'm keeping these, and I want to keep these, but I just can't keep. I want to keep both of these, but I can't keep 2 uninkables in my opening hand, just in like lose. So we're gonna end up mulliganing 5. Because I also don't like keeping cards in my hand just with the intention of this is just ink.
Yeah, I've never been. It's very rare that I'll play a deck that, like, if I have a hand in something like Ruby Amethyst, and I have something that is like super trivial, game 3 or something, I might just be like, you know what, whatever. I don't want to toss this back and accidentally draw like a B prep too early or something.
Sure.
That's the very rare occasion, but it's more just because I don't want to do more damage by altering than I do with keeping it. So it's kind of like the reverse of what you were saying, where it's like you're not going to keep it just to ink it and then what?
Right.
I find on my flat, no.
Love that card. Sure. Right.
Very, very specific card game 1 that might win you a game on the spot is kind of also a ballsy meta choice to be playing post Hiram ban.
Yeah.
Right.
I would love to draw a card that costs 1 and is named Popsicle.
It's usually the card you want to see, and that was even pre Hiram ban. That was the card you wanted to see a lot of the time. It's not ridiculously greedy. I don't know. Right, you're leading off in a strong way here with the Smee versus playing something a little bit more flexible, but not as explosive. Appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. We are here every Sunday night. Superliminal Entertainment bringing you the super stream. Sam, Cliff, and myself, all a part of IllumiNation, the Disney Lorcana podcast, available every other Wednesday, everywhere you get podcasts. Do give it a listen. It is a fun time, pretty short, good commute, workout style length, just like 20-ish minutes most of the time, so it can fit, hopefully, bite-sized into your week. And it's bi-weekly, so you won't get overwhelmed too quickly. We try to keep it nice and digestible for everybody, but content that's worth discussing in the game. And we're doing some testing here. Sam and I played at the Encounter Games in Allentown, PA. Was alongside of the large Ultimate Guard sponsored tournament in Germany, the first 2 tournaments to be played post bannings, and it was a lot of fun. Sam's playing the Amethyst Steel deck that she piloted to a 2nd place finish. I was playing Ruby Amethyst, and I piloted it to a 3rd place finish, having lost to Sam in the semifinals.
Cool.
So you can certainly check that out. It was streamed by our friends over at the Forbidden Mountain. Great job, some good casters there, calling our games and everything. It was a fun time to be had on site, and it's definitely viewable if you want to go back and check it out. So
And you can watch Max and Sam battle each other in the semis.
you can watch us duke it out. All right. Psych.
I have this in my hand.
Going with a more ink-efficient play here, but a less explosive one on the whole. Are we going after Grandma? Or are we questing? What's a Helga to do here? Up 7-0. Cliff going into a turn where he'll have 6 ready to ink available. The rare chill. What are your thoughts on chilling there? Sam's response was she doesn't like anything.
I'm just surprised you didn't kill this.
I thought for
Yep.
sure that Helga was taking out a Grammatala.
You have double dock in hand.
Sam continuing to hate everything.
More Helgas. Oh, let's go. Why do you hate that card? That's the next card to be banned. That's all you're playing. There you go. Okay.
Sam having a tough time finding action. Giving Cliff time to start gaining some lore by way of Maui Shark. Shark and a half shark. Shark power.
Sharknado.
Sharknado. Certainly some movies that they made. Grammatala number 2. Rare to see a board where the amount of characters on Cliff's side matches Sam's side. And the lore totals are almost equivalent in the single digits.
Nope.
Yep. We have cleared the obstacle that is Maui half shark. Does that unlock some more game here, or does that worry us? Right now, the board's pretty light on Sisu action, so if a Sisu does come down, it's taking down one Helga Sinclair, so not too bad. Yep, getting the value out of the Helga Sinclair if she were to get taken out by a Sisu. I like that. We have a Pete and a Goat with the opportunity to go questing. They would indeed probably both get taken out. But there's also a Helga Sinclair there. Only 2 characters. Another Maui could present a bit of a problem. The rush coming in, just being able to clear so many characters. But the more turns you give Cliff, the more chance he has to start to close the game out and bring it back to well managed. So it's a very tough board state. 1 card in hand. Definitely not 2. Sam really in the tank on whether to quest or not here. She decides to continue to chill. Doesn't make sense because the board can't be Sisu'd. It doesn't seem like... Seems like it's not a good time to be
I pull it
prepped.
on the bottom.
The board's too close to parity, so we see another shark come down. Maui having Reckless must challenge if able. Grandma could have saved him from that, but deciding that Maui can take out the characters and Grandma can gain the lore. Plays Helga Sinclair.
So many Helgas.
There's an abundance of Helga Sinclairs. Sam can't really exert too easily because the half shark is able to get back that that rather game warping song in the match.
Nope. Oh. Grandma's having a party. Trace.
Let's got Pete and Helga moving to the library for some light reading. Passing the turn up to 9 lore.
No.
Only,
Oh, much if able.
I think it's just character, right?
It does not say count.
It's
Reckless says this character can't quest and must challenge each turn. If able.
okay. Yeah. So, yeah, if able. Able and willing. Another McDuck Manor. Not what you want to see if you are Sam.
Another Helga.
Sam drawing the 4th Helga Sinclair of the match.
She does punch hard.
She does punch hard.
She do hard punch.
Helga, punch.
Okie
Slam
dokie.
down two drops.
Really?
So we're going up to 13 here from the McDuck Manors. Sam can't find a way to navigate. She goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on her next turn, up to 12 if she wants to, but she's just so far back-footed here. Cliff continuing to add characters to the board.
Literally don't need to do anything.
Cliff is winning the game passively, has to take no real game actions other than go to a set phase of his turn.
Did you draw a 5th Helga?
Sam did not draw a 5th Helga. That has been confirmed.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
That's fair.
Yep.
We're starting down the demolition business.
You're wasting your damage if you do it that way. You should give it to someone with free attack.
Yep. We're doing some maths.
Seven.
We have cleared out all of the luxury estates.
Sure.
Now, it looks like we might be interested in a little bit of questing action to go with all of the punching we've done.
One intimidating quest.
All right. Maui Shark going to be able to do some work here.
Row of Pirates Life.
No way to chain Pete's here. Another shark.
I got back Pirates Life.
Sing together on the Pirate's Life there. Put Sam out of it. Sam making a swap here. So if you do happen to want to see what we're playing tonight, is available if you just !deck or deck lists in the chat. You can check out what decks we're playing. So Sam's Amethyst Steel deck that is on that list would in fact be the list she played at the encounter, and what she just did was make a change after that she feels would be in her benefit, not just from the games of the DKP deck, but just in general over the course of the tournament. Felt like she could easily go down an Uninkable 2 and put Mr. Smee back in for those more explosive starts and the flexibility that an Inkable card will grant her. I'm going to pass my mic over to Sam so you can hear how dour she is, and I'm going to jump over to where Cliff was, and we'll get some more games in for you in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break to rearrange everything. We will be right back. Hello and welcome back. We are going to get started. We moved everything around. Thanks for sticking with us through the little pause there. I am over here, hello, and we are going to get started playing. I am going to be playing the Amethyst Emerald Oops All Diablos deck, and Sam is going to be continuing her endless procession of Amethyst Steel. Was that a draw?
I don't know.
I think it was
I think it might have been
6 this time. 5 that time. Maybe I get to go first and I shouldn't. Who knows? Big thanks to everybody for hanging out. And there is some changes I'd like to make to this deck. This is what I was going to play at Encounter before the ban. This is exactly how the list I have was. It's got a lot of things that are teched in here to play a little bit better against Ruby Sapphire and Sapphire Steel. So we'll see how this plays. But for my hand, specifically, stop looking at my hand.
I wasn't looking at your hand.
So I'm definitely going to put back this one. I'm interested in keeping these two. This is a nice keep if we can find some more stuff. I'm not in the market of keeping actions just for the sake of maybe shifting Diablo. So I'm not going to keep either of these because they really don't do a whole lot very quickly. And this is just a little bit too expensive to want to keep in my opening hand despite its ink ability. So I'm going to put back 4. We'll get 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's I wouldn't say worse, but it's certainly not better.
Alright, and this is my opening hand. We mulligan on the first game we mulligan like we don't know what we're playing. I would definitely keep these. Want an aggressive start. And put back these 3 probably. And here we go.
All right. So I get to start us off here. Can you just click over there so that chat's more visible? Perfect.
Yeah, I do have it up on my phone too.
All right, cool. So we just got to figure out what we want to ink on the first turn. Definitely going to be something on the expensive side. We have a few expensive cards for this point in the game, so we don't want a glut of things going on. So I think we're going to start here, though maybe we don't, because we want to have an action, potentially. So this is probably the most situational card of all of them. So we'll go ahead and ink Cricky. We'll play Diablo. So we have to look at Sam's whole hand. So she's 1-drop central. No 1-drops against Cliff. All 1-drops against me. Which is, I mean, neither good nor bad, right? Like, my deck's a little bit lower to the ground. I'm able to answer some things efficiently where Cliff's not.
I would have loved to have this hand against Cliff.
Right. It would have been a little bit better against the Ruby Sapphire deck. But I'll pass it back to you. You can pick up your cards. You don't have to leave them down if you don't want to.
Right,
When we're
I
testing, we
saw-
do tend to leave cards down sometimes.
I saw he has a Diablo, so I assume that Ursula is there. I'll play a Diablo.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, so now we can go ahead and ink what we were going to ink originally. We don't talk about Bruno. We didn't get our cool high upside Diablo play. Given the context of what she did here, I think I'm going to quest with my Diablo. I'm going to play a 2-drop Diablo, and I will pass the turn.
Okay, so my original plan is not going to be the play now that we drew a Helga. So we're going to Helga, and that'll keep in check any evasive Diablos. Plus 1. Pass. This was the matchup I had to beat to get into the top 4.
We'll
of
take out your
yesterday's tournament.
Diablo.
Perfect.
Ursula. I should have, just for posterity's sake, I should have Ursula before I challenged, just in case.
Well, why?
It wouldn't have,
'Cause
just for the
I
same
felt like what you did was better because I drew another card.
Oh, that's fair. Okay. All right. Maybe you're right. I was gonna say for posterity's sake, I do feel like looking before I started taking game actions is valid. So you saying I drew an extra card is also quite valid. So there's a good point there too. I hadn't considered that as much as just the like typical good like tight play of making sure you get as much information as you can before you start making decisions.
But yeah,
But-
because I could have drawn a strength and then you checked my hand and I drew a strength.
Right. That's valid. I'll ink an Elsa, and with the fox, if I quest here, she could go bonk bonk. So I don't want to open myself up to that pass. Yep. Not very good here. Is
It's
the
not,
real
it's
good
just
news,
funny.
Yeah.
So I'm having the same thought. If you have a fox,
It's an odd
So-
tension in these purple matches where
what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take that Diablo out. And I'm going to pick it up. That way I can replay it.
mm-hmm.
And pass.
I'll shift.
Mm-hmm. I wish I kept my strength.
Just quest here with this Diablo up to 2. I'll ink a fox. And I'm gonna just pass. So I draw when she draws.
Spoon, I'll play. Push it loose.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of fearing I also come down next turn.
There's nothing you
So
can really
maybe
do
this
about it.
wasn't the right play.
You could change it.
I know you inked one, so I'm just thinking, would you ink one if you didn't have another? I will chance it. Quest for one.
Yep. The fears have come true.
Do you draw it or jab?
I had it. Not for long, but I had it. That's all I'm gonna do. Yep.
Quest for one.
Okay. So what we want to do, a draw. We'll see what we want to do. We're going to use Diablo to sing Friends on the Other Side. We're using Diablo to sing it, not Elsa, just because if we do draw, like, we don't talk about Burrito or something, she can sing that. Diablo obviously cannot. Make a crab and we'll have Elsa challenge the fox. I don't think we're interested in inking right now, so I'm just going to pass. And I'll draw with you. And you can kind of see like the escalating advantage that this deck is able to generate. It doesn't really do as much as like the other, like it almost feels like it's not quite a discard deck in the way it plays. It's very much like an escalating card advantage engine. But it's a very fun deck to play, but it's a challenging deck in the way that Amethyst Emerald often is, in that you can't really super interact, but you have to kind of make everything work the best way you can.
And you repeated.
Pete. We are pretty obliged to deal with Mr. Smee, which sucks. So we're going to quest with Elsa. We're going to use a fox to pick up Elsa. We're going to use a fox to trade for Mr. Smee. The sucky part of this turn is how kind of ink inefficient we have to be, so that's not great for us. And the question is, do we want to start to maneuver our way out of that, or do we want to hold on to cards in an attempt to be a little bit more card advantageous moving forward? I feel like we can't really get that greedy, given she's not explosive in terms of lore count, but there is some lore here we don't want to risk. So I'm just going to ink friends on the other side, as opposed to holding it for next turn to be sung. And I'm going to quest here. We could quest with Crab. It might incentivize. You can't peat and pick it up unless it's Snake specifically. That's not much of a punish. It would be Fox being the biggest punish, so that's not ridiculous. And I don't know as though she would waste a goat trading into a Crab. So it would be the worst punish would be play a Crab challenge with Diablo. So I don't necessarily want that to happen either. But if the Diablo's challenging, she's not questing. So I'm going to try to even up and potentially end up sacrificing my Crab. But I think that's okay, and I'll draw with you. Yep. The good news is we're both kind of fighting on limited ink resources, where we both can't really play two things in one turn very effectively. So it's good and bad. It might incentivize Sam to want to do what I had to do and make a tough ink decision this turn. The nice thing about this deck is it is threatening in the way. There are cards that say discard cards on them, right? So if she goes down too low, I could definitely punish her for that. Good? So that's an advantage as well. So my thinking is the window's reopened for us to perhaps use that Elsa again. So we can, like, exert something. Elsa can challenge the Diablo. We could maybe have, like, a Crab challenge and get rid of something like a goat before it really starts to get too out of hand for us. Some options there. Again, we're working on that limited resources in terms of ink, so we can't do too much. So we're going to start with a friends.
Maybe didn't think one without a backup.
I actually drew it off the Diablo draw. I had to, you know I hate inking friends on the other side, but kind of all I could really do. I'm going to ink a green 1-drop Diablo. I think we're going to go for the aforementioned Elsa play. So we will replay our Elsa and exert the goat. Go ahead and trade you. We go up to 9. So we could have Ursula do the trading. There's no real advantage to that particular line, so we're just going to have Elsa go ahead and do that. And I will deploy a 1-drop Amethyst, Diablo, and pass the turn, and I'll draw with you. So I'll just sort my ink out. So our biggest concern right now is lore to resources ratio. And right now she's got a decent lore to resource ratio. And Sam knows she's not going to beat me in a long game, right? With Diablo just kind of chilling and doing its thing. So she needs to pressure me into interacting in some meaningful way. I put 4 damage on there. Quest for 1. Make a fox. Pick up Ursula. We'll challenge the library. So we get to remove that threat. We still have these large statted characters in play as part of the concern now. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to ink the Ursula we picked up. We'll start with the Hypnotize. And we'll go with a Sudden Chill. I'll have to draw Hypnotize. And I just played this, right? I played this the previous turn. We can go up to 7 here and pass. Repeat into dock. Oh, thank you. So now's the point of the game where you have to start kind of looking to maybe make some tough trades that we don't want to make. Just in case this may require like dive bobbing something with a Diablo in tandem. I don't know if we're quite that far, but it's definitely looking like that's a possibility. I'm going to discard Hypnotize to shift Diablo. Make a genie. Ink an Ursula. Make a Cricky. So we really don't have... Like, the Cricky's nice, don't get me wrong. It lets the Elsa do something she wouldn't normally be able to do, which is challenge and survive. I do think we're obliged to make that trade still. So it really, all it did was let Elsa punch where she shouldn't. So Cricky was no better than a crab. Obviously, the stats on Cricky are nuts, right? Like, the 3 quest helps open this game potentially back up to me winning. So we've added 5 potential lore to the board here. So that is all I can do. I'll draw 2 when you draw.
You're at 9 or?
I'm at 9. We got 14, 15, 16, 17 on board. There's the Helga. Yep. Dock again, I draw 4 cards. It's funny because as much
Good.
as I'm drawing off the Diablos, Sam's doing the right thing in creating a board of just questing, picking things up, and keeping. It's not so much the cards I'm drawing, like the excess of cards I'm drawing. It's her putting herself into where she can win the game, and I have to respect that to an extent for sure. I'm gonna draw, and it's like no matter how many cards I'm drawing, I need to figure out how to be able to create the ebb and flow. So
You have enough to go down Goat, though, I think, don't you?
I do not play Goat in this deck.
Oh, okay.
So I have to pump up the Elsa, and we'll go ahead and take care of Pete here.
I should have known that because I did that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not common for a deck like this to not be doing that, so. Do you think, double check my hand to make sure there's nothing I'm missing. You have 2 cards in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we can scan the hand. There's no reason to not. It adds another body to the board, and we can see what's going on here. 15, 16, 18. All right, so that gives us some potential. We have to try to find something. Do we have the ability to draw a card here pre-Diablo? Don't believe we do. And I only have 1 Sudden Chill. So I can't draw. Actually, that's a lie. I have a genie.
Okay.
So I can draw 1 card. So if it is exactly Sudden Chill, I'm just going to move these down because they're drying. His friend's on the other side.
We have one other one. They probably won the game. Well, I could still. No, I don't think I
It's
would.
going to be
No, I don't think I can
difficult.
win.
I'm going to ink Ursula 2 and make a Diablo and pass to you. Okay, sold that one. On the play, though, you almost had that. Like, I was on the play, and you almost had that. A difficult game to navigate. I do, like I said, I am playing some cards in here that I would definitely take out now in light of how the meta has changed. I would certainly drop the Ursula 3s I'm playing. And I'm also playing Strike a Good Match, and I wouldn't be playing that either. Just because those are more good into the Ruby Sapphire decks and the Sapphire Steel decks that were running around pre-ban. I would definitely swap them out for some number of Peter Pan Shadow Finders and Big Iagos. Just to help you. You played against this a couple times, as did I yesterday. Did you see anything in these decks that you felt like was annoying for you in particular? Like Diablos or the Iagos, the giant parrots, are a little negligible, right? Because you could just shoot them with a strength for 1.
I only played it once, and I didn't see an Iago.
Okay.
I saw.
I know you got
Trying to
Lucifer
remember.
for
I got
last- for-
Lucifer. I don't remember. I don't even remember if I got Peter Pan shadowed. I don't think so. I could look at the list because
That was one of the top 8
that was
decks,
one of the
right?
top 8 decks.
Yeah, that's also, I had to face it in regular rounds against a friend of the podcast, Vince. Shout out to Vince. And I also had to play it in my top 8 match. And I managed to dispatch it in the top 8 match because I had a timely Sisu more than anything else.
So this was my opening. Putting these 5 back. And I drew into this. Could be rough, but it could be good too.
Okay, so make sure this looks good. Yep, okay. So what we're trying to kind of navigate our way through is, like, we want to keep probably some assemblage of this. These cards, multiple and inkables, cards that are a little redundant or irrelevant in the match at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these 4 back, and we'll take 4 new ones. See if I can make it so you can see what they are. It's okay. I mean, like, it's pretty soft, to be honest, but hopefully there's enough going on here that'll let us get into the mid game without too much of a back foot. But with Sam on the play, it's going to be tricky. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, there's 2 in this deck in the top 8, right? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was the not Keith.
Yeah. Tinkerbell, Pete. Oh wait, this is the green
I was
steel.
like,
No,
Tinkerbell.
I was wrong. I think it was just wrong. Yeah, they have the wrong list, which they did in the chart too.
Oh, okay. They just have the wrong lists, huh? We got to follow here.
It's a subscriber.
Oh, is that Artemis Siege?
Yeah.
Artemis Siege coming in with the tier 1, 39 months. 39 months. 3 years. 3 months. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Ready?
I am ready enough. I mean, I have my 7 cards, so they're not good, but I have them. Ink a library, play a Diablo. Good. Roll for turn. I do think that we are kind of incentivized to put some pressure and try to disincentivize her from using her Diablo, so I will do that. We don't find any reprieve because there is a turn 2 Calhoun. But that's a lot of uninkables. Inks a strength. Plays Helga Sinclair, quest for 1. Does not want me to shift. A lot of respect for that. You can pick your hand back up, you're good. I just don't want anybody viewing to get confused. I appreciate it, though. When we're testing, we'll leave our hands down for each other to see, so we're like making sure we're making the most informed decisions possible. While not always going to be the way you actually play, it does help you make sure you understand and can talk through lines and understand things a little bit better. We can ask each other for advice that way. So playing what we call open or up is a nice way to help you test if you're looking for that kind of thing. This is a tricky board because we do want to dispatch the Diablo. The question is, how much do we care about that Helga Sinclair? The bad news is we don't have the best response to Helga Sinclair. So it's a little tricky for sure to want to navigate this particular turn. I think we're going to go ahead and ink Ursula 2 because we know it's a lot of uninkable. She's probably going to end up inking any strength she draws in the next turn or two, so I'm not super worried about that. Right, yeah, you did it this turn, so I'm going to play a different Diablo, and I'm going to go ahead and take out your Diablo because I do feel like I need to do that. It's good and bad in that I give her another card, which lets her find more ink. So it's like I could keep her constrained in a way and just not interact, but it just feels like I'm sitting back losing while she's making all these quests. Yep. Good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we did navigate her into making the move we wanted to. So we can use our crab to pump our Diablo and take out her Helga. So that's...
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Forgot she had
1
a
damage. Yep. I did all the math. Go ahead. I know. I'm not usually that good, but I did it this time. Yep. Seeing all the uninkables hit the board here.
Good.
Yep. She's respecting something like a fox here, which makes a lot of sense. Fox would be a pretty devastating play to make. It's a tricky turn. Definitely inking Ursula 3 here. We'll make a genie and draw a card. Crab is going to sing a sudden chill. Make the last card. That way we're just good to go, and I'll pass. Crab is most assuredly almost assuredly getting either Calhoun or Helga Sinclair did.
Mm-mm.
Yep. Fox to replay the Diablo. No quest with Helga Sinclair. Still respecting crabs and foxes. No cards in hand, right? Inca Hypnotize. I'll make myself a small Diablo. I'm just going to quest here because I don't want to fall too far behind in the lure race, and if she wants to spend time like just whapping it with a fox, because if I'll trade fox for fox, that's fine. No big deal there. Yep. I'll draw a card. Link a Sudden Chill. It's not too good here. Not a play I really want to be making, but we're going to make a quickie. We'll take out the library here. 5 and 3. And I'll pass back to you. Definitely falling too far behind. Feeling pretty uncomfortable about this position. Draw a card. No counter from a no Helga Smashy Smashy. Okay. Felt like we got a little bit of a way with something there.
I can't kill it.
Both Helgas?
But yeah, but then I do think I'd take it out. And I'm saving them.
Okay. You're saving them. You have plans for those Helgas.
I have plans.
Scary, but sure. Take out a Helga. Is that the plan?
A jerk.
I'm going to quest up here. Thank you. Ink that Sudden Chill and make Diablo and pass. I just feel like I need to get back into where I'm a serious threat for her and she needs to consider challenging this Crookie. It's a good exchange for her, absolutely, but I just need to get into a position where the game is at potential risk for her. 7 ink total. What?
Nothing.
This card's so bad now, it's funny.
Card.
Ursula. The 3-drop Ursula. She's just bad in this matchup, and she's just kind of...
It was good against me yesterday.
Somebody played
in this.
one?
Yeah, in this.
No kidding. Yeah, I just think she's a little...
I mean, once I'm no cards in hand, it's not as bad.
I think she's a little outdated in terms of technology right now, but I get what you're saying for sure. Like, she's fine. She can... But she's just, like, drawing 4
maybe,
cards.
You know what? I might be thinking of in green steel. It's a lot better in green steel.
Oh, green steel, it's an
Yeah.
absolute...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, absolute staple in the deck. I'm just trying to decide how best to use my resources this particular turn. I think... we don't talk about Bruno. It's either coming for Chernobog's followers or for Helga Sinclair.
Do you have a Diablo in hand?
Like a
If
shift
you-
Diablo?
yeah,
Well,
then
I
I
couldn't
think it's
shift it
this.
anyway if 1 card.
I know, but I think it would be this if that's the case.
No. But
Okay.
the follower stops you from getting cards.
I get it. I just meant if you have a Diablo, I think that's probably so you can play it next turn.
And then I'll commit the Ursula to the board. The reason I'm interested in committing the Ursula is in case I draw specifically Friends on the Other Side. I can draw 4 cards, which is just a complete game changer. Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna trade this for the Diablo.
She keeps the fox keeps the Ursula in check pretty nicely. Like if I'm gonna say, like she's gonna get one time use. Friends on the other side. Okay. No, it was not. We'll exert Helga Sinclair. I mean, we're taking out Helga Sinclair for sure. We'll take out Diablo as well. This is just too clean. Go ahead. Like, for you to answer. It is one less lore you're gaining that turn, but the fox is still a problem post that, so it's just, like, so silly to do it, I think. Okay. That was pretty painless as far as turn cycles go for you. The good news is I don't know how good questing is here. Are you inking the fox because you're worried I might top deck a discard card?
Yes.
Okay.
I have John in it though, so it's not the worst. But I like having more ink.
Does my build have John?
Mm,
No. Is it 2?
Maybe I don't remember.
There's only a couple Johns now, if any. Good. Definitely quest all of our evasives because we can do
It
that
did not work.
with impunity. What's up?
I put the pound deck, or it's, I mean,
Exclamation
exclamation point decks, but it didn't come up.
Try deck.
I have them both in.
Well, deck list. Are you sure decks with plural is correct as a command?
I guess not.
Yeah. I'm going to game 5. So that'd be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
0 Johns.
20. So that's lethal if you can't do anything about it.
Not at all. Elusive, so.
I know. I was just doing the math for everybody who's watching. Okay.
He beat me 2-0.
Clean set for the Oops All Diablos deck. So you got all your good luck burned yesterday, apparently, when it really mattered for once. You did it when it mattered.
Nobody on stream would believe I did so well yesterday.
Well, they have to because it's all over Facebook. Just check our friends, The Forbidden Mountain. Check out Encounter Comics and Games in Allentown. Truth about, and you can't perform well every single day, and sometimes the deck just doesn't fire for you every single day. I don't think the deck looked bad. You took a set from Cliff, and I think you only got 201 set of the, 3 or 4 you guys played together. So it was a good-looking thing, and I do think this deck is cool and has some legs, and I'm happy to see that it may still have some play post the bannings, because it was very much trying to prey on the decks that were very good before the bans, and I'm happy to see that the kind of Oops All Diablo, it's just like the play patterns are really fun and interesting, and it does the Amethyst Emerald kind of thing where it challenges you to think about putting, like when I was saying, like, I'm going to quest here and make Sam do the challenging, and the same thing she's trying to do to me. It's this very interesting tension of who has to break down and back off of questing and no longer be the beatdown and start to be the one who's actually keeping the challenging and things in play. So that will do it for the stream. I do owe a song. Do you want to kick it over to the onboard cam? It's just right above the webcam there at the bottom. Yeah. Hi. Hello. So I will sing the song, and then we will steer our way clear of you for the evening. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Again, we're here every Sunday night doing some streaming things. And the IllumiNation podcast, which is down below. It's hard to point with a mirror.
Opposite. Are you being funny?
To an extent.
Okay, I was like, because you're...
Right below my finger now, finally. The IllumiNation podcast, we are coming at you anywhere you get fine podcasts every other Wednesday, not every single Wednesday. We're not machines around here. Every other Wednesday, we're doing some more bonus content. Sam and I are talking about possibly tossing up a little tournament report action for you from our time over at Encounter Games, where Sam did, in fact, do really well and come in second place, and I did a little worse, losing to her in the semifinals and came in third place. I got Enchanted Bell. Sam got a ton of Rise of the Floodborn product, both English and Japanese. So it was a really cool time. It was really a lot of fun, and we really appreciate Forbidden Mountain and Encounter for hosting the event. Big shout out to everybody we got to see there. It was awesome. A lot of fun to be had. So I owe a song to Artemis Siege, J-Rod, and Mediocre. Matt, appreciate you guys very much. We will see you all after the song. We'll see you all next Sunday. And if I threw a party, invited Mediocre Matt, J-Rod, 1220, and Artemis Siege, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. Everybody have a great week, and we will see you back here on Sunday.